Hey, it's Tim.
And it's Amy from GoWithLess. We're glad you're here. In this week's video, we're sharing our October spending with you. It was another big spending month. We hope you'll watch the whole video.
In 2015, Amy and I retired in our late 40s, and in January of 2020, we sold our home and became full-time nomads. Every Wednesday here on our channel, we are talking about our nomadic fire lifestyle. On the second Wednesday of every month, we were talking about our spending for the prior month. So we were talking about October today. And we try to spend about $3,000 a month this year. We've had a tough time with that. That works out to about $36,000 a year. And that has been definitely a struggle this year.
It has. We hope you'll give today's video a thumbs up. Subscribe over here for those Wednesday videos. Let's get into talking October. First, where were we in October? We started the month with some time with friends who are on their own house sit in Sonoma, California. We were there for the first week of October. Then we moved to a house sit in San Francisco for a very sweet cat in a wonderful part of town for 2.5 weeks. I'm going to call that the holy grail of house sits because it was one cat in a very expensive city of San Francisco, and we fell madly in love. And then we left for 3 nights to go on a little jaunt with our friends Dylan and Allison from retiredby45.com. You should check out their website, just to Santa Cruz. And then we came back to San Francisco for another really lovely 3-night house sit, really short one, and we got to Denver, Colorado on October 30th, and that's where we are today.
All right, so let's get started talking about what we spent this month. So the largest category this month is going to be home and lodging. We spent $1,604 this month in this category. That is a lot for us. We're used to this being relatively low because we do a lot of house sitting, and so big number for us this month. We also did something weird this month in that we are splitting up some of the things between different categories, or we had an expense that, and we'll explain that here in a bit. So the first one is going to be a cruise that we booked. So this cruise is going to be part in home and lodging and part in transportation. We arbitrarily decided that $750 of the cruise is going to go here in home and lodging. So this cruise we're doing in the spring. It's late April, and it goes from the U.S. to Europe. We're very excited about it. It's transatlantic, and we're just thrilled. Can't wait to do this. But we paid for it now, so we're going to talk about this spending now. And what else about the cruise? Go ahead.
One of the cool things is that Tim used an Amex offer on Royal Caribbean. You pay $1,500, you get a $500 statement credit. So the entire cruise for everything, including tips and taxes, was only $1,356 for the two of us. It's a 2-week cruise, and the reason why it's going in transportation is because we are doing it in lieu of a flight to Europe. So that's why it's ending up there. But it's going to be under $50 per person for food, entertainment, getting to Europe. I mean, a place to sleep. What a crazy deal.
Crazy deal. So yeah. Something else that we also have that we split up this month is Amy's Chase Sapphire Reserve card renewed. It's a $550 annual fee for this card. We put $325 into, again, home and lodging because we're going to say it's at maybe hotels, and we'll explain what that means in a bit. And then the rest of that is also going to go in transportation because it's maybe associated with flights. And so what do we love about this card?
We love a lot about this card. So a lot of people, knowing that we're so frugal, we might be surprised to hear how much we spend on our credit card fees. This is well worth it to us. So in the $550, we get $300 just wiped away from just easily. You don't even have to ask for it. Just the first $300 you spend toward travel just gets completely credited. So it's really a $250 fee, since it's no problem for us to spend that $300. So for the $250, we get priority pass access, the lounges in the airports. Now, we haven't really been able to take advantage of those recently, but we have taken great advantage of this in the past, and it's so nice on a layover to have a long time in a nice lounge with free food and drinks and things like that. And even though it's not free because we're paying for it with our card, it feels kind of free, and it feels very luxurious on a long day of travel. We love that our points, our Chase Ultimate Rewards points, are worth more having this card in our wallet. We get a 50% boost whenever we're booking through the Chase portal. That alone makes it make sense. I think those are like two of the biggest.
Major perks, yep.
Yeah, so other people, and yeah, so we love those Chase Sapphire cards. We're going to put links to a link, I'm going to say, to that card down below in the description. So if you're interested in that card, there it is. Now I'm going to take on a charge of an Airbnb credit that we bought that was $300 $363. Sometimes to meet a credit card's minimum spend, Tim's going to buy gift cards for things that we'll use in the future. So we bought $363 of Airbnb. What is interesting that you're not seeing here is the 3 nights at an Airbnb in Santa Cruz. It was actually $1,000 for 3 nights. That was a discounted rate. We shared it with our friends, so it was $500 for those 3 nights, but because we had credit on our account from the past, it was just kind of wiped away. So you don't see that Santa Cruz in here, but that was $500, which is kind of crazy. And then you had that IHG card renew.
Yeah, and so we had a $49 fee for an IHG card that I've had for a while. This card is actually grandfathered, so you can't get this IHG card at $49 anymore. I think the cheapest one they have now is $89 or something like that. But nonetheless, that did renew for us. And what we get for that $49 annual fee is a free night in a 40,000 point IHG, wherever in the world that turns out to be. So we continue to pay this annual fee year after year after year.
I think we have a nice one coming up next week.
We do in Mexico.
An Intercontinental.
Yeah.
I think we have a really nice hotel for that $49 annual fee. That one makes it make sense to keep in our wallet
100%.
year after year.
Yep. So our second largest category this month is going to be food and dining, almost at a tie with home and lodging at $1,602.
You should have just bought like a bag of pretzels or something like that.
Yeah,
and evened them up.
We've said for the last few months we're living our best life when we're spending the most money in this category. So we just missed this month.
Well, we really spent a lot of money because 1602 may be the highest we've ever spent yet, and there are reasons for that, which I'm going to get into. All right, that broke down into restaurants $9.93 and groceries $6.10. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we spent some time with friends at their house sit. Our friends are gourmet cooks, so we took care of purchasing the groceries for that trip, took them out to some nice meals as a way to say thank you, and they are whizzes in the kitchen. We kind of stepped out of their way, took care of like the cleaning and the cleanup, and took care of the groceries. So the groceries were $6.10. We also, in that $6.10, we had a couple Blue Apron deliveries, 2 Blue Apron deliveries, which provided us...
And that wasn't with our friends, the Blue Apron.
That wasn't with our friends. That was at San Francisco. We have found that Blue Apron, if we're in the country, is a very, very nice way to get our cooking on, have gourmet, yummy food at home at a very reasonable price. So that was $105 for several meals through Blue Apron. Now, the $9.93 for the restaurants, the 3 most expensive meals were with our friends in Sonoma. We took care of their 3 of their, I think they were all lunches. Sonoma's an expensive part of the world. So that
one of those is in San Francisco, no?
One of those was in San Francisco, 2 of those was in Sonoma. So that was $356 was split between among 3 different meals up there. That was just kind of like a thank you, and we were happy to do it.
All right, so here's another oddball for this month. Our third largest category this month is going to be shopping. So we never spend anything in this category. So I think we made some great acquisitions this month. So we'll talk about that. What did we spend? We spent $1,473 in this category. A lot.
Well, Tim finally got a new phone. He was dying for a new Google Pixel.
Yeah, I got a Pixel 6. I didn't get the Pro because it seemed like it was too giant, but I spent $771 on this phone, and that includes shipping. It's very fancy. I'm fancy. Amy and I both have new phones this year, so
and I have a new computer. It's been an expensive year. No wonder.
It has been an expensive year.
Okay, and then here's something big. We bought each a piece of check-in luggage. I don't even know how to say the word check-in luggage. We bought check-in luggage, $603, and that was on sale. So my bag was bursting at the seams. I was afraid that when I did check it in, that I was going to have a seat like coming around the carousel with my underwear coming out.
So it wasn't just not just figuratively. It was literally breaking apart.
And I have been using it for 3 years, kind of like getting worse. And finally, it was really obviously like I'm going to have my underwear on the baggage carousel, which would not be okay. And so $603. I'm excited because we're getting on a plane on Monday. We're going to be in Mexico for 4 months. We're going to be really hitting the road. No car. We're selling our car this week. So this is like, we're really getting ready to do our nomad life real on Monday. And I wanted a little bit bigger of a piece of luggage. And also I used to carry a lot on my back, my computer, all kinds of toiletries, all my jewelry, all that stuff. And it was very, very heavy on my back. So what I'm trying to do is to lessen the load of the backpack a little bit, get it into the luggage. So I needed bigger luggage.
Making this check-in bag decision was a very thought-out process. It took us forever to sort of figure out what we wanted to do here, but we ultimately decided that we're just going to, every time we show up at a flight, we are going to check a bag. And that comes at a price, so we understand that that's going to, oftentimes we're going to be paying for that, but we didn't figure the bags that we had were going to be able to be checked in many parts of the world, and so we were going to have to be checking bags anyway, so we wanted a little bit more space. We certainly didn't want to have a smaller bag, and so here we are. We both have a nice check-in bag situation, and we're excited to have that.
And here's how I think of it. Number one, it might not be the perfect bag for us. We're just going to give it a good test run for for the next 4 months. And it is, it's not cheap. Actually, Tim's bag was $100 more than my bag. I went a lot cheaper than Tim, like half the price almost. And Tim went really fancy.
I did.
But the way I look at it is, if our bag is awful, then we're just going to get a new bag, probably when we're back in the U.S. briefly in March, just doing a house sit. So one of the biggest problems I have as Nomad is being bored of my clothes and the stuff. So the bag alleviates some of that. And since we're getting rid of our car and all the stuff that we've been carrying around in the car, it's kind of was like a nice step to not being such extreme minimalists on the road. I know many Nomads are doing it much lighter. We are very happy with this decision. Another thing I bought was $99 of 2 bathing suits and 2 pairs of leggings. It was kind of cool in San Francisco, and in Colorado it's a little cool. So I needed some leggings, like some kind of like, so $99, and I'm hooked up for 2 bathing suits too. My 10-year-old bathing suit was like also like my luggage. It was not doing so well.
So the fourth largest category this month is going to be auto and transportation. We spent $1,182 in this category this month.
And this is going to be the other half of the cruise. $606 we allocated into here. The other half of our Chase Sapphire Reserve annual fee, $225, because what we're using our Chase rewards for are a combination of hotels and flights. And the reality is, it doesn't really matter exactly which category is which. The bottom line is exact. So the $550 card is accounted for exactly. How it exactly matches up into home and lodging or auto and transport is really not the most essential thing, as long as we get the bottom line right. So then we also paid for a flight from Querétaro, Mexico to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. One-way flight, $135 for the 2 of us. And then we also paid $144 for gas. The funny thing is, we only had a car for one of those days. So we bought gas for our friend's car in Sonoma, our friend's car who took us to Santa Cruz, and that was $116. And then this is the killer one, is the parking ticket. We talked about this parking ticket a month or 2 ago. We had a ridiculous parking ticket in Philadelphia, and we petitioned it and disputed it, and they sent it to us, a resolution in the mail. Yes, and we didn't open that up because we didn't get it for like 6 weeks. Well, while they said no, we decline it, then they also tacked on a late service fee and made that, I don't think it was like a $36 fee ticket, $70. So we just went and paid it online. We still love Philadelphia, but we are not loving your parking situation.
No. Category number 5 is going to be miscellaneous, and this was solely made up by birthday gifts. We spent $90 in this category this month.
Birthday gifts! Number 6, utilities. That's also a one-item category, and that is my Google Fi, $55 for my cell phone. That was actually one of the higher months that I have had, but yeah. Okay, I'm going to take on category number 7, and it is health and fitness, $53. I should mention, I have this weird thing happening with my forehead. If anyone's like, what the heck is happening with Amy's forehead? It's to kind of hedge against potential skin cancer in the future, and so I have this special dermatology cream that our doctor gave us, and gave me, and I am kind of making sure that I hopefully don't have skin cancer up there. So PSA, wear your sunscreen. I do wear my sunscreen, but I wasn't so good about it till I was like 25, 30 years old. I do now, but it was a little too late. So better now than never, though. So $53 and $30 was on a prescription, and $23 was on your haircut.
Yeah,
your
I
sharp
got a haircut. Yep, so this is a funny story, actually. I was going to get a haircut when we were in San Francisco. I went to Supercuts, the fanciest place you could find, right? It was going to cost me $33 to get a haircut at Supercuts.
Not even the tip included.
Not the tip. That's exactly right. So I decided that I'd just wait till we got here to Colorado. And
complaining that you needed a haircut the whole time.
So anyway,
Tim loves a haircut.
$23 for my haircut, including a tip here in Colorado.
Including the tip.
Yes.
Okay, entertainment, $20, includes our TV streaming services, Spotify, and newspapers. I think Spotify is one of the best deals in the universe. Had I known in like the 70s and 80s growing up that I could have like any music of my life available for something like $10 or so, could you imagine that as a kid?
No,
that would have been like
one CD
the
cost
Jetsons.
That much. Yeah, or one cassette tape cost that much.
Yes, the idea that I'm like, I should go be like a poster child for Spotify, because I think that is the best deal ever. Okay, taxes, $0. Zero. Okay, so that makes our monthly spending a whopping $6,079. Now, if you take out some huge outliers that are really rare things, the cruise, which we're not even doing until the spring, the $550 annual credit card, the new phone, Tim hasn't had a new phone for several years, and our luggage, which hopefully we're okay with it, but so while we may be open to changing it, we probably won't. And if those 4 things totaled $32.80, 3,220, 3,280. So if you take those out, that gets us to $2,799. That's a very much more reasonable number. So we're still going to take that hit for $6,079. But I was curious, like, what is like the normal kind of spending, and what's the outlier stuff, just to get an idea. So that brings our year to date to $37,336. That makes our year to date percentage. We're tracking to it's the 10th month of the year, $3,000 a month. We should be at about $30,000 right now. Where we are at our 37,336 makes us at just over 124%. So we knew that it would be a tough year. It is.
Obviously, we're already over our 36K, and we still have 2 months to go. So.
And here's the good news: we're giving ourselves a raise next year.
We are giving ourselves a
We're
raise.
going to talk about that in future videos, probably in December or January's videos. But we have decided to give ourselves a raise. We haven't had a raise ever since 2016 when we were both fully retired. So it is time to give ourselves a raise. And there's all kinds of reasons. It's not just because of this outlier year. Just also, by the way, heads up, is that I had a surgery in there that was also $6,500, I think it was. So there's some humongous things in here that are kind of weird. But life does have these weird things. We know that. So that's part of why we're going to give ourselves a raise. So what else you got, babe?
I think that's it.
Okay, well, next time you see us, we're going to be in Mexico without a car, like sold our car, no home, new bags.
No, actually, when this video comes out, we will be in Mexico.
Yes, isn't that so exciting? So we will see you. We're going to be in Cancun when this comes out. Hasta luego.
Adios.